Video number 2 of my record store haul. Ahoy everybody, and welcome to the next part of this trilogy of haul videos. In case you haven't watched part 1, on Friday the 17th of January I went over Portsmouth, first of all to go to a cinema to see Star Wars, which I really liked, and then I went into 2 record shops in Southsea, and then on my way home one of my usual ones in Fareham. Bought a lot in each, so this is split over 3 videos. The first video was very long, this one shouldn't be quite as long. I went down to a record shop that was new to me. I actually discovered it on my Discogs app, the Vinyl Hub I think it's called, on the bottom. I was playing around with that and looking to see what stores are on there, and this RPM turned up, which I wasn't familiar with. It's on the same road as Sounds, which was the store I went to on part 1, but it's a lot further down. It's sort of past the main hall of shops, when there's a residential area, when there's a few more shops, and it's in those. Yeah, as I said, I'd never heard of it, but went down and investigated, and glad I did. It looks like this. Walked in, it looks like it's very new, you know, from what I heard and everything, and from what I'm looking at on his Facebook page. It was made redundant in 2017 and turned his hobby into a business, so it is probably about 2 years old at most, the shop. But yeah, went in. He was sat at his counter, which was by the door, so I just sort of, you know, said hello. I always, you should do when you go into these sort of places, because it puts you on good footing. And straight away he said, you know, hello. He says, have you been here before? I said no. He said, oh, how did you find out about us? So I told him. He said, oh, right, okay. So, and he got up and he just talked me through the layout of the shop, which was, you know, perfect. You know, it was really good customer service. So I'm like, this is there, this is there, this is there, bloody bloody blah, bloody 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 blah. Yes, I can't fault that. What I can fault a bit is his layout. I mean, it's up to him how he lays it out, but it was a bit peculiar. He had certain bits in, you know, he had a separate Beatles section, a separate Elvis section, and a Motown section, and a funk and soul section, and a country section, you know, fine jazz, blues. But then he had, the bulk of it, it went 50s male artists, 50s female artists, 50s groups, and then A to Z sections in each. Then the same for 60s, 70s, 80s, sort of going around the shop, which again is fine, but there was no consistency in how things were. Some artists, all their albums, regardless of when they were released, were in one section. So, for example, Jimi Hendrix, all his stuff was in the 70s, even though a lot of it was released in the 60s. Other artists, their 60s albums were in the 60s, their 70s albums were in the 70s, their 80s albums were in the... So if you were looking for a Rolling Stones album, and I wasn't, so I might... They might even have had a separate section, but just say, for example, thinking of a group who's had a career spanning all those decades, you'd have had to have gone to 60s R, 70s R, and 80s R to find all their stuff. So, and as I say, that wasn't consistent. But otherwise, you know, it just meant it took a bit longer to go through everything. Again, I was in there about an hour. But yeah, picked up a fair amount. Again, I didn't look at this as I was buying it. If it's in a record shop, I trust that they're not going to put out crap. Because if they do, I'm just not going to go back there anyway. But first thing I'll show you, this was actually up on the wall. He had lots of stuff on the wall, as most record shops do. And he had this single. I didn't obviously I know it, but I didn't recognise this single at all. And it turns out this is a Netherlands release of I Want to Be Your Lover, which was the big hit single from Prince's second album, his self-titled album from 1979. As I say, never seen this sleeve before. Very rare to get picture sleeves on his early stuff. It's a jukebox cutout on a silver impressed label. I have this single in a plain sleeve on paper labels. But yeah, it was it was marked up at 15, crossed out, and reduced to 8. I looked on Discogs, and the average price, the mean price I think is they use, was 18, I think, 16 or 18, so bargain basically. Interesting little blurb on the back, and the B-side is Just As Long As We're Together, which is from For You, his debut album. But yeah, really happy to pick that up. Then, in no particular order, for £20, Derek and the Dominoes, Layla. I will be collecting Clapton eventually. He's not somebody I'm prioritising at the moment, but I wanted this album. It's an album I had on cassette, but never got round to getting on CD. But an album I really liked, and obviously the title track is just a classic, but the whole album's really good. This is on RSO. That one looks in excellent condition. As does this one. Going by the Home Taping Is Killing Music sleeves. I'm guessing this is a later repress. I will discover when I go by the vinyl as well. It feels a bit too flimsy to be from 1970. But that's fine. As long as it sounds good and it's got the right songs on it, I'm happy. I'm not one for worrying about getting originals. Can't see anywhere where it says whether it is or not. Oh, so mid-price double, so yeah, it must be a reissue. Yeah, happy to get that. Another squeeze for my collection. This is Cosy Fan Tutti Frutti. This is when Jules Holland was back in the fold, from 1985. Don't recognise... You know, it's an album title I was very familiar with, but I don't actually recognise any of the songs. Again, I'll say again, think of this as a continuation of part 1. I might recognise the tracks from the greatest hits once I hear them. Yeah, very clean on A&M. When I say clean, I mean scratch free as opposed to not dirt free, because there's always going to be bits on them when they're second hand. Another Elvis Costello and the Attractions. This is a funny named one, Imperial Bedroom. Biddy 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 biddy. So the only thing I recognise is Almost Blue, but that's because it's the title of the other album that I bought in the other shop. Don't recognise any of the song titles, but as I explained on that one, that doesn't really mean much with Elvis Costello from me. That's all the lyrics I presume on there. Oh dear, oh dear, that has got a big scratch on it, and on that side, which probably explain. Oh no, it was a tenner. Oh dear. Yeah, we'll have to see about that. Need to clean as well. So it is sort of a surface mark. Oh, there's another one there. Yeah, not sure how that's going to be. That'll teach me not to check. Another Elvis. This is for £8. Goodbye Cruel World. Cosy Fan Tutti Frutti was £10. I don't think I said that. This has got anything I recognise? No, again, don't recognise any of the song titles. Original Inner. It's on F-Beat. Yeah, that looks okay. Imperial Bedroom was on F-Beat as well. And for my Jam collection, this is their debut album, In the City. This was $15. This one. couple of copies. I think he had a 15 and a 10, and I thought I'd splash out and go for a 15 on this one. So that said, it has got a little scuff on it. I don't know if that's the original inner or not, or whether it had a proper inner sleeve originally. This has got Inner City. This was at the time when their singles weren't on the albums. It's got their version of a Batman theme on it as well. An 80s Joni Mitchell from my Joni Mitchell collection. This is from 85, I think. Yeah, 85. This is Dog Eat Dog for £7. No titles I know on this, but they might have been on. They might be on the big box set of hers that I've got. Where are we? That big white box there. Yeah, there's some sort of sticky stuff on this, but hopefully that'll clean off. Yeah, otherwise looks okay. Some Geffen. Bruce Willis, Return of Bruno. Regular viewers might be aware I love this album. I've shown, when I found my childhood 7-inch singles, I had all the singles of this album, which between them have got, I think, 8 of the 10 tracks on. But yeah, I've got this on every format, so I might as well have it on vinyl as well, especially if it was only £3. Yeah, needs a clean, but looks okay. On Motown, in case you didn't know. See, Under the Boardwalk and Respect Yourself were the big hits of this. This was a nice find. This is Jesse Johnson. He was guitarist in The Time, Prince's other band, if you like, the band he created, but were his co-stars in Purple Rain and Graffiti Bridge. Jesse Johnson was their guitarist, and then when he left he had a solo career. And this is a sealed copy of his album Every Shade of Love from 1988. It's a cutout, it's obviously remaindered. I don't know the songs. I know he's an excellent guitarist, and I know a lot of Prince fans rate his solo stuff, so it'll be interesting to give it a listen. But let's break the seal, shall we, after 32 years. He says, if he can. Oh, I need to have a jeans trick. Let's try the jeans trick. No, that didn't work. Yeah, we're in. Trying to see if I recognise anybody else from the credits. Eddie M plays saxophones. He'd worked with Sheila E. a lot. Claire Fisher does the strings. He used to do the strings for Prince. It's managed by Owen Husney, who was Prince's manager in his early days. This is on A&M, as I said. And apart from a couple of bits of paper stuck to it because of static, obviously being a brand new record, it's fine. It's very flimsy vinyl, so it looks like it's warped, but I think it's just where it's so flimsy. The weight of the middle is making it move. downwards. Yeah, but as I say, very pleasant surprise that. Another Elvis Costello, this is Spike. This is the album from when he was working with Paul McCartney, although I can only see Paul McCartney credited on one track on this, which is, he says, Veronica, which was one of the big hit singles, together with Tramp the Dirt Down. Original inner sleeve on Warner Brothers. Yeah, perfect by the looks of it. Yeah. And this was 10, I think. Yeah, this was 10. As was Jesse Johnson. Yeah. Next one, it's my fault for not looking properly because I didn't realise this is the greatest hits. I thought this was one of their albums. But this is Slader's, but it's nice to have the greatest hits together anyway. This was £10 and it's got the original book still inside. I wasn't really after a greatest hits since I have a greatest hits on CD, and I'm getting, the whole point is I'm getting their studio albums. This is on Polydor, and it's, you know, it's got Get Down and Get With It, and Because I Love You, and Look What You've Done, and Take Me Back Home, and Mama We're All Crazy Now, and Goodbye to Jane, and Come On Feel the Noise, and Squeeze Me Please Me, plus others. No inner sleeve, I just noticed on this. That's not a huge issue. These are clean, it's been clearly been played a fair bit. Hopefully nothing major. You may have seen me unbox. I have got a lot of these singles as 7-inch singles from that were reissued, which is another reason why I wasn't in the market really for greatest hits. Another one from my Nielsen collection. This is only £3. This is Dieu en mon... See, it's the wrong way round, so Dieu en mon day instead of Dieu en mon doigt, or however it's normally said. This was from 75. It's as old as me. Ringo's on this, properly credited. This refers to previous video. Who else is on it? Dr. John, Klaus Vormann as usual. Not so many big names on this one. It's an album I've got on the CD. Nothing hugely memorable on it, but all his albums are good. Lyrics, and then there's a little alternative cover, and then the gatefold. That's on the round, do you call that? RCA Victor. Couple very small marks on it, but practically perfect. Let's say that was only £3. So the pricing in there was very inconsistent, as you can probably tell. You know, I think a lot of it was fair, although a couple of those maybe might not be worth the money. This one, for example, this is Pussycats, which was from 70 something. We shall find a date in a minute. But this was £20. This is does go for more because of those magic words. Also Keith Moon's on this, Ringo, Klaus Vormann still. Anybody else we know? No, I don't think so. But yeah, the Lennon factor makes this one more valuable, although it's probably one of his weakest albums, to be honest, in my opinion anyway. There's too much drinking, not enough decision making. hair. Bit of dirt, couple of light marks. Nothing major. Army Orange RCA Victor. At some point it was at the Wells Record and Tape Centre where it sold for £2.45. And another Harry Nilsson. This is called Harry Nilsson. Actually, I think it's Harry by Nilsson, to be fair. This was from '69. Puppy songs on this, which you might know from, is it David Cassidy's version? Mother Nature's Son, his version of the Beatles track. Mr. Bojangles, obviously the classic. Simon Smith and His Amazing Dancing Bear, the Randy Newman song that Alan Price had a big hit with. Again, some light marks, but nothing major. And again, on the Orange RCA Victor. And this was 10. And two more from there. Walker Brothers Portrait. Which has... I'm not sure where this... I mean, I love the Walker Brothers, but again, I'm not... Their discography, I'm not 100% au fait with. Walker Brothers... Discography. So this was their third album, or their second US sale. I had Take It Easy with Walker Brothers and Introducing the Walker Brothers, which I think was similar to the Beatles, where they sort of bastardised the albums. I think that was the US bastardisation of Take It Easy with, and then this was their second then, really, I suppose. It's got In My Room on it, Saturday's Child. I don't know if Summertime on it is the classic Summertime. Where's the credits? Gershwin, yes it is. Yeah, some scratching. We shall see on that one. It's on Philips. And this was £10. Oh, and it's got the original inserted fake signed photo. If only that was real. Then my £10 would be a bargain. On that sort of subject, he also sold autographs and they seem to be fairly well priced. He had a signed Kylie Minogue, Got to Be Certain 12-inch for £25. I was tempted by, but I wasn't sure on the signature because it's very different from her signature now, but it could well have been in the early days. The start of his full name, but it didn't look at all like her current signature. But if that is genuine, that's a very good price for it. And he had lots of other bits, some of which clearly were genuine. But finally from him, I picked up the Kinks Think Visual. This is from 1986. Nothing I know on the titles. Original inner sleeve. And this is on London. That looks fine. Couple of marks that will probably clean off. Yeah, altogether that came to 164, I think it was, something silly like that. He gave it to me for 130, which was a decent deal. What was that? 3/16. So nearly a quarter off again. Yeah, some not entirely sure on the condition of those. If I do go back to him, which I probably will, but I'll make sure to check everything before purchase, I think, next time. He did give me his card. He doesn't actually sell online, but he does sort of give stock updates and things like that, apparently. But yeah, he was a very nice man, and I liked the shop, apart from the strange layout, or the strange organisation. Yeah, as I say, I'm sure I will go back there, but I'll just be a bit more careful next time. When I play them, you never know. Sometimes the stuff that looks terrible plays really well, and the stuff that looks perfect skips. But we shall see. One more part to go, which is Heathen Chemistry in Fareham, plus the charity shop in Fareham as well, but that's only 2 things. So that'll probably be up tomorrow. That's my intention. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in another one. Thanks. Bye.